I'll call this meeting to order. It's a regularly scheduled meeting of the Transportation and Public Works Committee. I'm the committee chair, Councilmember Reich. I'm joined by my colleagues on the dais here, Councilmembers Johnson, Palmisano, and Fletcher. Council President Bender has other city-related matters, will not be joining us, and Councilmember Gordon is on his way. But we do have a quorum, and we'll proceed with today's agenda, of which we have a total of 16 items. We have consent, and some discussion items, no discussion items, and public hearings. I'll go through the consent items first, starting with item 5, 2018-2023 Customized Safety Training and Training Services Vendor Pool. Item 6 is a contract amendment with Tyzac Concrete Incorporated for Lindale Safe Routes to School. Item 7 is the contract amendment with M10 for cleaning and lining of cast iron water mains. Item 8 is the 2018 levy of various Public Works Department special assessments. Item 9 is the alley easement deeds for Wells Fargo Bank, portion of the 3021 and 3025 Humboldt Avenue South. Item 10 is the traffic zones, restrictions and controls, 2018 quarterly report. Item 11 is the Orange Line Bus Rapid Transit Station at Lake Street Station, and that regards a community request for a different consideration for naming. Item 12 is the Metropolitan Airports Commission 2019-2025 Preliminary Capital Improvement Program comments. Item 13 is the bid for rental of work zone traffic control devices. Item 14 is the bid for sidewalk and parking lot snow clearing, removal, and ice control services for special service districts. Item 15 is the bid for 4th Street Southeast Electric Enhancements Project. And item 16 is the bid for 34th Avenue South Street Reconstruction Project. Does any committee member wish to pull an item for discussion? Seeing none, I move all items as submitted. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Dissenting nay. That carries. We now can go to the public hearing component, starting with item number 1, water sewer services repair. Good morning, Director Hutchinson.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the Transportation and Public Works Committee. Our first item is a continuation of a public hearing for assessments on the water and sewer service line repairs. This information is being presented by Jeff Handelin of Transportation Engineering and Design.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. I'm Jeff Handeland. I'm the principal engineer in the Transportation Engineering Design Division of Public Works, who oversees utilities connections permitting and Public Works special assessments. This is the public hearing for water and sewer service line repairs. By city ordinance, the property owner is responsible for their water and sewer service lines. City ordinance provides a procedure for the city to replace or repair those service lines if the property owner either requests us to do so or if they fail to do so. The process is such that if the bill for the work is not paid, the costs are recovered by a special assessment to the property owner on their property taxes. Public Works recommendation is for City Council to pass a resolution adopting the assessments and levying the assessments. I'll stay nearby in case there are any questions.
Are there any questions per the staff presentation? Seeing none, we'll now proceed to the public hearing piece of item number 1. Is there anyone signed in? We have a public hearing. It is open. Does anyone wish to come forward and make comment? Anyone wish to come forward and make comment? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing for item number 1 and move the item as submitted. Any further conversation from the committee? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Dissenting nay. That carries, and we can now move to item number 2.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, the next set of items will be presented by Brett Jelly. These are similar in nature, one related to street lighting, one related to street maintenance, and both of which are the resolution that would levy assessments on non-governmental tax-exempt parcels for both of those items, both street lighting and street maintenance. Brett is going to present both items together, as the information is quite similar prior to proceeding. So I'll turn it to Brett Jelly now.
Good morning, Director Jelly.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, committee members. My name is Brett Shelley. I'm the Director of Business Administration for Public Works. I'm introducing two related public hearings this morning on a non-governmental tax-exempt property, street lighting, and street maintenance assessments for payable 2019 taxes. Minneapolis has been assessing non-governmental tax-exempt parcels for street lighting operations and street maintenance since 1974. The assessments are determined for both assessments by dividing the budget for each item by all accessible property in the city, and therefore the rate has a direct connection to how much we spend on both street lighting and street maintenance. The rate for payable 2019 assessments is the same as last year, and because of this, public hearing notices were only sent to properties that are either new to the list or grew in size, and therefore their assessment changed. Hennepin County is doing a coordinate geometry update that has been changing property sizes subtly over the last few years, which has caused us to send out a few more notices than we had in the past. There are 1,324 eligible properties in the city, but we only noticed 198 properties for street lighting and 256 properties for street maintenance. So those are the only properties that had a change or were either new to the list or a change in size. For street lighting operations, the median or middle value of the assessment is $37 a year. For 2019 assessments, we'll be assessing $109,014. For street maintenance, the median or middle value assessment is $187 a year, and we will be levying $544,331. We are recommending one amendment to the resolution. The property owner at 501 11th Avenue South responded to our public hearing notice with a question. We did some investigation of the status of the property and determined that it will be taxable. So therefore, we are just recommending that it be removed from the assessment roll.
Noted, thank you.
That concludes my presentation. Have any questions?
Any questions on the presentation, which again are the following two items, items 2 and 3? See no questions per the presentation. Just to keep the clarity of comment, I will separate the public hearing component. So I'll start with item 2. This is the public hearing on item 2. Anyone wish to come forward? No one has signed in. I will close that public hearing and move that item unless there's further discussion from the committee. See none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Dissenting nay. I'll now open the hearing for item 3, tax exempt parcel street maintenance assessments. Anyone signed in? Nope, no one signed in. Anyone wish to come forward and make comment on that item? See none. I will close the public hearing. If there's no further discussion or questions from the committee, I move all items. All in favor say aye. Aye. Dissenting nay. That carries. We can now go to our final public hearing, item number 4.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, item number 4 is passage of an ordinance to amend Title 17, Chapter 437, which relates to sidewalk construction permits. This information is presented by Mike Kennedy, the Director of Transportation Maintenance and Repair.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Again, I'm Mike Kennedy. I'm the Director of Transportation Maintenance and Repair for Public Works. The Minneapolis Code of Ordinances, Chapter 437, governs sidewalk, curb, and gutter construction within the city and outlines corresponding requirements for permits to perform sidewalk work within the city right-of-way. Currently, the ordinance requires all sidewalk contractors to obtain a bond as a precondition to obtaining a city permit to perform the work. I want to be clear, this is about residents hiring or property owners hiring contractors. It's not about the city or Public Works hiring contractors. The ordinance specifies that the bond must guarantee completion of the work free of defects for a period of 2 years, indemnify the city against negligent performance, and guarantee payment of claims. Each proposed bond is reviewed and processed by the Sidewalk Department and the City Attorney's Office, and the amount of each bond is set at $15,000 to reflect the approximate coverage cost of work being performed. In the 58-year history of the ordinance, there is no record of a claim ever being made against the sidewalk contractor bond. Moreover, both state law and separate city ordinance set the threshold amount for triggering mandatory procurement of a bond for work on the city right-of-way at $100,000. Thus, the ordinance does not reflect the current state and city standards for mandating posting of security. The cost to contractors for procuring sidewalk bonds is likely passed on to the consumers or city property owners who are seeking to replace or repair their sidewalks. The Department of Public Works, together with the input and guidance from the City Attorney's Office, has determined that the bond requirement included in the ordinance does not reflect current circumstances and needs, and the protections outlined in the ordinance can be achieved by other, less costly and time-consuming needs. The proposed amendment will allow the Department to rely on permit language as well as other more up-to-date ordinances to provide the city with the same levels of protection. This shift will help eliminate an unnecessary cost to small contractors and property owners who hire them, including contractors from the city's target market program, and eliminate a current administrative burden that serves little effective purpose. The proposed ordinance amendment will protect public safety, provide more efficient use of staff time, and provide access for smaller contractors who work in the city. So our recommendation today is passage of an ordinance amending Title 17, Chapter 437 of the Minneapolis Code of Ordinances relating to streets and sidewalks, sidewalk, curb and gutter, and construction, amending the requirements to perform sidewalk construction work within the public right-of-way. That's my presentation, and I can take questions if needed.
Any questions for this presentation? Seeing none, I will then open the public hearing. Anyone wish to make comment on the shift in policy? On item number 4, no one signed in. Anyone wish to come forward? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. I'll note this is really good work. I think your argument, or actually the rationale behind this shift, is very clear and clearly beneficial to the public. So I appreciate the work that went into this. It's a great streamlining of the bureaucratic process and a cost savings to consumers. So with that, I will move item number 4. All in favor say aye. Aye. Dissenting nay. Oh, Council. After the item. That item carries. And then I'll just make a note for clarification. When I moved items 2 and 3, I said as submitted, and it was very clear in the staff presentation that the removal of the noted address 501 was stated by staff and therefore submitted per that. I just wanted to make that clarification for the record. And then Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to check in and see if staff had an update on the per household tax or assessment estimates around the proposed sidewalk snow removal. I know I asked about it last time in the committee as well.
Update?
Mr. Chair, Councilmember Johnson, we don't have that update at this time, and we'd be happy to follow up with you on our progress report after the meeting.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else before we adjourn? Seeing none, we are adjourned. Thank you.